What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, and this week I'm driving the VW Polo GTI. I'm going to be telling you everything you need to know about this vehicle and why is it still so loved in South Africa. Let's get into it. So from the front of the vehicle, Polo GTI, from a styling perspective, I think it looks absolutely fantastic. Really good design here by VW. You get IQ headlights on this one. You've got your LED daytime running lights running across the entire width of your vehicle. You also have this red line running across the front of your vehicle, signifying that this is a GTI. And then you've got your honeycomb grille at the front, as well as at the top grille. You also get your fog lights and your GTI badging. All in all, I still think it's a fantastic design by VW. We know how much the Polo is loved in South Africa. So this one adding a bit of aggressiveness and holding the GTI nameplate is a very popular choice in South Africa. And we know that because we see so many Polo GTIs on the road. Consumers absolutely love the design and styling of this vehicle. And I have to agree with them. It looks absolutely fantastic. So under the bonnet, you got a 2-liter TSI motor, makes 147 kilowatts and 320 Newton meters of torque, and it's mated to a 6-speed DSG transmission. Top speed 238 kilometers an hour and 0 to 100 in about 6.7 seconds. Just really well packaged by VW with that DSG box. Obviously, if you want that additional power, you're obviously going to be looking at the Golf GTI and Golf R, getting closer to the 200 or beyond 200 kilowatt mark. And that's really where the hot hatch segment kind of stays for me. So even though the Polo GTI does make 147 kilowatts and it is fun to drive, it's not a proper hot hatch and not what I'm looking for. Nonetheless, it is a GTI, and obviously at the price point it comes in, significantly cheaper than the Golf GTI or the Golf R, so still offering you a great balance of power and efficiency in this Polo GTI. So from the side of the vehicle, you get these lovely 18-inch rims, which is a gloss black and a machine finish, and then you've got your red brake calipers, and then this rim is wrapped in this lovely Conti Sport contact tire, which is very comfortable and it handles absolutely beautifully on the road. And additionally, you get your GTI badging on the side to let everybody know that you're in a GTI. So at the rear of the Polo GTI, you get this nice roof spoiler finished in gloss black, brake light embedded in it. You got your antenna, and you got these LED tail lamps which look quite nice, your GTI badging, and then you've got your exhaust pipes at the bottom. All in all, still a very clean design on the GTI, and I still like this design, and obviously because I still like the Polo. Open the boot, you get 300 liters of boot space, and you get a spare tire. Thank you VW for giving us a spare tire. I think a lot of the brands are dropping off their spare tires now, so I'm really happy that this car actually has a spare tire. Just giving you that additional confidence to travel, go where you want to go, knowing that there is a spare tire in this vehicle. It is a biscuit, but it's better than no spare tire. Boot is manually operated, so no electric tailgate on the Polo GTI. But other than that, I still think from the rear it looks quite nice, and overall still standing in line with the Polo design, but adding a little bit of finesse to it. So in the rear of the Polo GTI, there's a bit of leg room and headroom. Driver's seat is in my driving position, and I'm 1.8 meters tall. You get some storage space behind each seat as well as on either side of your door. No center armrest here. You do get 2 Type-C ports, no aircon vents in the back of this Polo GTI, and then you get ISOFIX as well for the kids, and you've got child lock on the rear doors, which have to be accessed by the rear doors, so no one touch in the front from the driver's side of the vehicle. All in all, I think it's quite basic in the rear. Besides your Type-C ports and your cup holders, there really isn't much else here. It would have been nice to at least have some vents in the rear of the vehicle, considering the price tag as well, but it is what it is. So jumping into the driver's seat of the Polo GTI, it really is quite nice. You know, you met with this lovely leather wrap steering wheel with this perforated finish and your GTI badging, as well as this red finishes around the bottom of your steering wheel with a matching gear lever and selector, obviously also stitched with this red stitching around it, reminding you that you're in a GTI, right? Also the red stitching following on the seats, which are actually quite nice and quite comfortable. So all in all, it makes you feel like you're in something nice, right? And I think that's something I do like about it. You've got a digital instrument cluster, a digital media unit. Your instrument cluster is a little bit customizable. It has a few views. On your steering, you're controlling your instrument cluster from the right hand side, and then you're controlling your cruise control and adaptive cruise control settings on the left hand side. Obviously it has the ability to switch between tracks, etc. And then this one being the DSG, you've got some pedal shifters behind your steering. You got one touch windows all around, some storage on either side of the door, and then you've got two cup holders in the middle of your console as well. So these cup holders look quite small, so I don't think you're going to fit anything too big in here, probably like a can of Coke or Valpre bottle. But on the side of your door it is quite big, so you should be able to store anything else you need in there. The media unit is the standard unit. There is no navigation in here. I think it's quite sufficient for the standard unit. It works seamlessly. You get Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Bluetooth. The sound system is pretty decent. There is the optional Beat sound system, so you can fork out for that if you want. But I was pretty satisfied with the sound system, so nothing to really complain about. You've also got your IQ Drive fitted on this vehicle, so you do have adaptive cruise control, and then you've got your front assist, lane assist, and then your driver alert system. You also have some tire pressure monitoring and some basic settings and features within the vehicle. You got two Type-C ports in the front, no inductive charging on this one. It is an optional extra. And then you've also got front and rear PDC, which is also welcomed. I think the rear view camera is an optional extra. And then next to your gear lever, you've got your start stop button, traction control, your driver modes. This one has a driver profile selection with adaptive chassis control. So you're getting eco, normal, sport, and then individual, which is customizable. And then you've got your park assist here on this vehicle as well. And then obviously your PDC centers. From your aircon unit point of view, you've obviously got aircon, dual climate control. You've got heated seats in this one, which I quite like and was welcomed. We are in winter, so I enjoyed those. And then you've got your 12-volt charging socket here below your gear selector. And you've also got this nice kind of gloss graphite finish around the dash with this gloss black trimmings around your cabin and around your media unit and your instrument cluster. It does give it a nice feel, and it makes it feel a bit more premium. You got some nice finishes, and the build on the cabin area feels quite well put together. Just around the doors does feel a little bit plastic, but not terrible. Offered decent quality plastic, but not the best that I've seen as well. But other than that, your cabin and your dash area all feel pretty well put together. I think from a driving point of view, the driver and the passenger are definitely well looked after. Obviously, the rear passengers is where you're going to have to sacrifice a little bit without the additional aircon units at the back. I've got kids, so when they sit in the back, like my son was complaining, oh, there's no aircon unit for him. So additionally, on the side of the vehicle, on your sills, you've got the GTI badging there as well, which is quite nice. And then this one, you've got your sunroof. Not the biggest roof, but it does end pretty much above my driver's seat. So it's pretty decent for the front passengers, but again, nothing for the rear. And then you've got some storage space in your cubby, which is pretty decently sized. But all in all, I think VW, really make the driver feel quite well looked after. You feel like you're in something nice, and I think that's something the Polo GTI and even the Polo does exceptionally well, right? You feel like you're in a really good vehicle, and it's really well put together. It's got all the tech and all the safety features that most consumers are looking for, and I think that's where they're hitting home runs, and why consumers, even though the vehicle is a little bit on the expensive side, people are willing to pay if you've got that exceptional build quality, and that's what VW does really well with the Polo. So from a safety point of view, The vehicle obviously has a host of airbags and safety settings and safety controls. You've obviously got ABS, EBD, traction control, all of that stuff. You've obviously got the adaptive cruise controls and lane keep assists and etc. You've obviously got your parking sensors. You've got 5-star NCAP rating, which is obviously the big one for me. With that, I'm quite comfortable knowing that this car has a 5-star NCAP rating. So from a safety point of view, really nothing for consumers to worry about, knowing that they are well protected in this Polo GTI. All right, so let's talk about the drive. The Polo GTI is so comfortable. You know, you just drive it normally and it's pretty much just going about its business. It's got all of the stuff that I like from the Polo. I appreciate that it's not as quick as I'd like it to be, but I mean the 147 kilowatts is more than sufficient. And you know, for your daily commute, overtaking and having a little fun here and there, it's more than you could ask for, right? I think one of the things the standard Polo or the 1-liter TSI Polo suffers with is a little bit on the power side, right? It's not excessively quick or anything, and I think this Polo GTI kind of just raises the bar just a little bit more. It goes about its business with a smile, right? And the reality is the Germans are very specific in their build, the materials, their technology, the user interface, and something that I've grown to appreciate. Yes, it is a bit more on the expensive side, but you're also getting the great resale value, reliability, ease of accessibility for parts, and that's a winning formula for me, right? So I think on a day-to-day basis, Polo GTI makes a lot of sense for a practical daily drive with a little bit of power. And you know, obviously when you switch it into sport mode, it kind of turns up a notch, so you got a bit of a tone going and the vehicle starts to, you know, really perform well. I think from a handling perspective, it does pretty much handle really well. There is a bit of understeer here and there, but you know, all in all, for what's the use case, right? Robot to robot racing, driving around, and I think the Polo GTI does all of that quite well. And you know, even around the corners and stuff, I wouldn't say you like losing control of the vehicle or anything. It really does perform more than adequately. And this DSG box is just smooth and, you know, just pops just a little bit, and the downshifts are there, so it's a really good package, right? And that's the reality of it. You can argue all you want in the comments, but the fact remains is that the Polo GTI is really well-rounded and it's put together quite nicely by VW. So let's just talk about competition, right? And I think this is what the Polo GTI has going for it, right? With brands like Renault dropping the Clio RS, Ford dropping the Fiesta ST, there really is no competition for the Polo GTI. And that's the reality of it, right? And you know, there's the GR Yaris, but it's only now available in the rally version, and that's close to 800 grand, right? And I think that's something VW have going for it, right? Because when you're looking for like a little small hot hatch that's not gonna be as expensive as a Golf GTI, you know, around that 550 mark, 550, 600 mark, there's pretty much nothing. And I think that's why the Polo GTI continues to do well in our country. You know, there's just no competition, and obviously now VW is really just owning that market. I think a lot of the guys who are coming from Polos and want a little bit more speed are opting for the Polo GTI and you know, remaining within the range and without having to stretch themselves all the way to the Golf GTI, right? But all in all, I still think it's a lovely little vehicle, great little fun. I think we'll continue to see them on the road, and I still believe that it'll continue to be a favorite here in South Africa. So from a day-to-day driving point of view, Polo GTI really very comfortable, very easy to drive, just really well-rounded, right? You've got all the tech, it's very comfortable, it's very easy to use, you've got a bit of power, you can easily flip it into sport mode and the vehicle starts, change its whole dynamic in terms of the drive. And, overtaking and all of that stuff is really easy. It looks good. And, I think even though it's expensive, I think it still kind of does the job really well. If we look at the performance, even the handling and stuff on the Polo GTI, it's got that fun factor. And I think that's something that the GTI nameplate will continue to deliver on, and the Polo GTI won't disappoint you. So from a pricing point of view, you can get into this Polo GTI for 550,000 Rand. There is a long list of standard features on this vehicle, which are quite nice. It also comes with a 3-year, 120,000 kilometer warranty, as well as a 45,000 kilometer service plan. But you're going to be getting closer to that 600,000 Rand mark, I think, with the optional extras, right? So with that said, if you are looking for a Polo GTI, make sure you head over to autoadvisor.co.za, where we will get you a competitive price on your next VW, and somebody from our team will help you through the entire process with one single request. And we will get you comparative quotes from over 400 dealers around the country without you having to worry about doing all of that stuff and the haggling and the negotiating. So leave that all to us, and make sure you give it a shot and let me know what you think of it. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.